You're either on the bus or you're off the bus.
Welcome aboard. It's time for episode 16 of Ride the Bus, the official Iowa Wild podcast presented by Explorer Minnesota. Ben Gislason, voice of the Iowa Wild, joined by marketing guru of the Iowa Wild, Joey Goldstein. And Joey, we didn't promise we were going to get 2 January episodes.
Yeah, we did.
I don't remember promising it because
we did.
I remember giving ourselves, or maybe in my mind I thought we gave ourselves an out, but we didn't need it. Here we are.
Yeah.
We got it done.
Yeah.
How many home games we have this month?
8.
Didn't matter.
Nope.
2 episodes.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah. It was a lot, and we knew we were gonna. You can say we didn't promise it. I'm pretty sure we did, but we had talked about it. We missed December. We're gonna get 2 this month, and then you texted me today, and you were like, "Hey, let's go play hockey during lunch. Let's do that. It'll be great." And I was like, Ben, that sounds like a lot of fun. However, we're supposed to record a podcast, which you forgot about. So I'm glad I sent it. Today was just
been a rough day.
It's been a rough day.
Yeah.
I mean, we can dip down the lane, but now you forgot the podcast. You did zero research the podcast.
No,
like it was a struggle for you. I brought my A game. So
admittedly this morning, and it's not an excuse. I'm not a fan of excuses, but it is a factor. It's coming in. We recorded the Sammy Walker interview, who is our guest today, at 12:30, and I was planning. I had it slotted. I was going to go 11:45 to probably about 12:15 was my block. Not only set up here in the room, but then to grab 20 minutes, dive in, find some stuff on Sammy, and try to be ready for this. And I get a phone call that Reese Smolik, Mitchell Balmas are coming up, and that includes a plane ticket to Texas, which, of course, is where currently the team is. I'm currently there when fans are going to be listening to this because this will come out on a Tuesday.
Yep.
So my day, as is usually the case sometimes with the team services role, just got turned upside down, to quote Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was a definitely busy morning. We got everything done. We were able to get Reese the ticket and Mitch Balmas a ticket, so they're with the team. So it all got taken care of. But it did lead to an extremely poor performance, my poorest performance from an interviewer perspective. Without question, my poorest performance. And interestingly enough, not only was it my poorest performance, but you just completely posterized me with your most sparkling performance to date.
Yeah, you got dunked on.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up on bedroom walls of podcast fans, you dunking on me on this podcast today.
I
mean, it wasn't even close.
Put a picture in of just, I don't know, me being Vince Carter dunking over Ben. Maybe I'll Photoshop that and send it to you, and we'll just put it in.
I'm sure you have the staff that can pull that off.
I got the capabilities to make that happen.
That can pull that off.
I'm going to put dunking over Ben as Vince Carter.
Air Canada, baby.
That's going to go right in right now, me dunking on Ben. But yeah, no, I mean, we had some life lessons for kids throughout this episode, I think, as we were talking about, preparation and things like that. And just goes to show, don't wait till the last minute to cram to do your work ever. Homework, podcast prep, whatever it is that you're doing, get it done ahead of time.
I'm a notorious crammer, so yeah, that fits. But Sammy Walker today, back-to-back all-star guests, not only
it's
because
an all-star podcast, got to have all-star guests, right, Ben?
Not only because they're going to be representing the Iowa Wild at the AHL All-Star Classic in Laval, coming up shortly here on the first week
this
of
coming
February.
Weekend.
Yep. So that'll be fantastic for Sammy, and then Jesper Wallstedt was last week's show. But really an all-star guy too. And it doesn't take long to figure out how kind Sammy Walker is, how well-spoken he is, how bright he is. I used charming, the word that really comes to mind with Sammy Walker. I called him out at the end of the episode, which we'll get to. But that is, to me, the best description of who Sammy Walker is. He's just a kind, good soul, a fierce competitor. Again, I hope when I talk about all these player personalities, people don't think, well, they're soft on the ice. He is not soft on the ice. He was in the middle of a lot of things, actually, in that Coachella Valley game last week. The first one, that was a snarly affair, and he was not shying away on some of those post-whistle parties that they had. But I was just thrilled with how open he was with us and some of the stories he shared. Again, we'll get to it. Your tidbit on him being a daredevil, didn't know that. You really illuminated a lot of things in this podcast for our listeners, for our fans, and for this broadcaster.
Ben's going to be just dropping things in on the broadcast, on the radio going forward. And
taking full credit
taking
for all your
full
homework.
credit, like I didn't give him
question.
anything. Yeah, but no, I think the one thing that stood out to me with Sammy is just he's so humble.
Yeah.
He doesn't, you can tell as much as he opened up, as much as we talked about, he doesn't like, it feels like, you don't like talking about yourself in that way, and you can see it's not something he loves to do, but I mean, obviously he's happy to do it. I think that comes with the role and comes with the job that he's in, right, the profession that he has. But yeah, it was cool to kind of hear. I think for me, the coolest thing to hear him talk about was high school hockey in Minnesota, because high school hockey in Minnesota is like football, high school football in Texas. It's just like it's unlike anything else anywhere out in the country, right? So to hear, what it was like to play in front of 19,000 people at the state championship game, winning, best high school hockey player in the state, like those are such cool things that growing up in Massachusetts, we didn't have that same experience.
Third place game. That was partially my error too.
Yeah, that was.
So,
that's
you made the error
that's
too.
where it started. I said
championship
semis.
game. You said state championship game.
What did I say?
He said state championship game.
Ah.
Yep. So now you're also, and you knew about. This is great. This will make more sense when you listen to the rest of the episode.
All right.
Anyway, to finish before we get ready for Sammy, and then we'll let you get to continue your Star Spangled episode. We'll forgive you for that error, and you can get to your Explore Minnesota read. But to put it in perspective, as a native Minnesotan who grew up wanting to play for the University of Minnesota, who grew up wanting to play for the Minnesota Wild, me and thousands and thousands and thousands of other young players throughout the course of time since the Golden Gophers became a thing, much further past than the Minnesota Wild, obviously, but that's the path, and he's living it. I mean, he is currently living the absolute dream, not just the dream. So many guys want to play in the National Hockey League. Young boys want to play in the National Hockey League. Yes, he's on the way to doing that, but not only is he getting to do that, but he's going to get to do it for the Minnesota Wild, and has done it for the Minnesota Wild. So it's so funny when he's done all this and he's accomplished all this already in just his 23-year-old. But to your point, he was way more open about the fun questions, about the daredevil questions, about some of the musical questions we got to him with than he was about his accolades. He's a hockey player, and he's really damn good at it. And he just wants to do that. He doesn't need people to give him applause for it. He just wants to go out and play. And that was what he said when we asked him about the expectations he had coming into the season. He said, I'm just going to go out and play. And 33 points, 33 games later, as we record this podcast, he's leading the American Hockey League in rookie scoring.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to get to that episode. But before we get there, some housekeeping items. And let's start with an Explore Minnesota live read, courtesy of our friends at Explore Minnesota. Take it away, Joseph.
Yeah, we were debating about which ones I want to read. I think I'm going to go with the tougher one, the one that you said you haven't read. It's not tougher. There's some bigger words. Bigger words. Illuminate, enthusiasm. Not huge words. For me, big words.
Communications major.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we talked about that too in the podcast.
Yeah,
that's right. Shout out UMass Amherst, where I got that degree. Minnesotans love to embrace winter weather, and nothing brings out our enthusiasm like winter events. Experience the oldest winter festival in the United States, or visit a grand illuminated ice castle. Then end your day with a hot beverage or a craft brew. Warm memories forever frozen in time. Plan your winter getaway at exploreminnesota.com.
Slight slip up on then. I'll give you an A-.
Yeah.
If you weren't having such a hot day on the podcast, I would have given you a B+, but you got an A- going.
Yeah, we've made a couple mistakes here and there, but it's not gonna take away from the atrocious start that you had today. So it's all right. We'll get into it. I don't have a ton of tidbits really to get to. We've had a lot of feedback. Obviously, it's been a bit since we've had an episode. So I think hearing from season ticket holders and people I come across on the concourse on game day, people are very excited to hear the Wallstead episode and have that. I think that was an illuminating episode for a lot of people. My real tidbit, Coachella Valley comes in last week. It's really the first time. I mean, not really. It is the first time we've ever seen them here. Just in general, the way they play, at least from my vantage point, being down on ice level during the game, it's a different game than anything we've really seen. It's I don't know if it's more physical than other games, but it's a lot. They are faster than a lot of teams we play, and they are a lot grittier than a lot of the teams we play. They are not afraid to really get into corners, press hard on the forecheck, and they just fly. So it was interesting on Thursday seeing how we react to that. I think it took a little while on Thursday for us to get into a rhythm. Third period, we finally hit our stride. We end up tying the game, go to overtime. You end up losing, but I think obviously we haven't seen Hershey, who I know is at the top of the standings. We haven't seen Toronto, who's at the top of the standings. Coachella is maybe the best team that we're going to see in the West all season. Yeah,
arguably for sure. And we talked about this on the AHL TV broadcast, at least on Thursday night's game. This podcast being recorded before we get to Saturday's game. But John Schaefer and I, our AHL TV host, talked about this. The Pacific Division has a brand to it. You look at the teams that we have seen so far from the Pacific this year, and you could even say last year too. I would say the same thing about teams we've yet to see, like a San Diego, who they're not having a great year, but I guarantee you they're going to have the edge that most Pacific teams have. You know the Pacific. San Jose has an edge to them. Colorado is one of the heaviest, most physical teams.
They just beat up on each other. Yeah,
yes. Now, Colorado, to me, not as much of the chippiness, more just physical, heavy. This at least Thursday. We'll see again. We'll see what Saturday brings. But that game, Coachella Valley really they drove the knife in and they twist it, they turn it, a little chip here, a little grab here, a little.
I mean, they're very vocal. There was a lot of chirping back and forth, a lot of after the whistle scrums type thing, and you see that with teams in our division. But there was a different feel to it. It's hard to, I don't know, I wouldn't describe it as like a playoff atmosphere, but it's pretty close the way that game was played.
And I think our social media coordinator, Jess, does such a great job. I read one of her tweets. It was something along the lines of, no surprise, these two old foes or something like that are getting like, I thought that was so clever and so great, because I said the same thing on the broadcast. I said, you would have think these teams have been going against each other, and these same players have been playing against each other for a decade.
And that you just played 3 in a row and you're playing the fourth game. Yeah.
And even though a lot of these players they have, because they do have a pretty AHL heavy team, guys who aren't necessarily prospects for Seattle. They have a few. Riker Evans is a really high-end prospect for them, but not to get too far into the weeds on the Seattle Kraken and Coachella Valley. But even though there are a lot of AHL guys in there that have had AHL time, like Max McCormick, Andrew Podorowski is the one that does have a history with Iowa being a Chicago Wolf last year. But most of these guys played in the East. That came over. A lot of them came over from Charlotte, where Coachella Valley was being housed until they got up and running for this season. So there isn't a ton. You look at our players, their players, and you don't see a ton of commonality, a ton of history, but it didn't matter. Boy, did the boiling point got reached very fast, and it did make for entertaining hockey. Certainly looking forward to Saturday's game for sure as we sit here today. But, I agree. Coachella Valley was an impressive team. I think that they have a lot of depth too. I think their lines, when they really got moving, it was one after another after another.
Yep.
And Iowa, to their credit though, I was really impressed when play was 5-on-5. That Thursday game was full of wild penalties and not many penalties for the Firebirds. When that game was 5-on-5, Iowa was right there with them.
Yeah.
It was a great measuring stick.
Aside from the overtime, one of the 2 goals that they scored were on power plays, and I missed the second penalty that led to the second goal, the tripping penalty on Henschy's. But
tip right in front of the net.
But I did see. Well, I mean, I missed the penalty, but I saw. We started that second period on a power play. 13 seconds, and we get the power play, and then down the other end, Marco gets the puck stripped from him, and I don't know if it was just frustration trying to recover it, but hooks the guy real quick, and next thing you know, it's you're back to 4-on-4. Penalty expires, and they score right before the power play ends. So it's just. Sometimes it's just tough breaks, but like you said, 5-on-5, that's where you're looking. That's really where you're going to see how a team is made up. I mean, you hear talk about 5-on-5 with Minnesota all the time. That's where we hung into the games, and you want to be able to compete with those high-end teams, because it says a lot about the makeup of your roster and what your locker room looks like. So,
and Iowa never even really got a chance to respond on the power play. Their first power play was only 45 seconds long, and the second one was a full power play, and they didn't really do much. But even if you get 2 more power plays in that game, then you go, okay, we had our chance to show that we could play with a 5-on-5, and we can cash in on that power play goal that maybe could have won the game. But either here nor there. Now Iowa does keep that point streak alive to 9 games with that loss in the overtime. So it's been certainly, as we talked about on the Volstead podcast, this Wild team is just blowing through teams right now and playing great hockey, competing with the best. And they've certainly proven to me that they are a playoff caliber team over this stretch.
Let me ask you, so I think, 5 out of our last 6 games have gone to overtime or something like that? Or
Yeah, it's five straight.
So do you think it's a lot of hockey. Do you think that starts to wear on people after a bit, or is there enough time kind of in between games?
I like that this came right before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
I think this stretch would wear on you more if it was happening in late March.
Sure.
Yeah, I like the All-Star break, even though it's not that long in the grand scheme
It helps,
of things.
especially when you got guys banged up, which we do. So.
And it feels long for players, even for staff like the people who are down here in the room every day and traveling, and just to and I'm not a lot of guys go places. I'm not going anywhere, but just to be able to sit, the couch, just to be able to sit at home and to know that no one's going to call you, and you don't need to get Reese Smolik up from the Coralville team to the Iowa Heartlanders to get him in, and just to know the peace of mind for 3 days is there. That does a lot for everybody, and so I would answer that question by saying I like the timing of it, but you're not wrong. I mean, extra hockey does wear on you, not only physically but emotionally too. Now, the good news is Iowa's been on the right side of 4 of those 5, so when they go to overtimes, they're going to be able to look at it and say, hey, like, we're a good overtime team. They are a good overtime team.
I love watching the Patan Rossi.
The Wizard.
3-on-3. Yeah, the Wizard. But the two of them.
Hold on. Speaking of photoshopping, you want to put a Wizard hat on Nick Patan? Yeah,
sure.
Put that one in there too, because that could be really great. Based off of the last episode when you brought up the
Wizard, we'll put that
Nick
in.
Patan
right
might be a wizard. Maybe my favorite line you've said on the podcast.
Yeah.
Nick Patan might be a wizard. So great. If you haven't listened to the Volstead episode, that's a nice little teaser for it. Anything else that we need to get to, because we've gone long, which is fine, but I think it's time to get to Sammy Walker.
Yeah, let's bring in Sammy.
It is indeed. The Minnesota Mr. Hockey winner with the Edina Hornets, a 3-time captain at the University of Minnesota, the first in that storied college hockey program's history, and the American Hockey League's leading rookie scorer, Iowa Wild forward Sammy Walker. Ready to drop the puck for the second period here on Ridin the Bus, the official Iowa Wild podcast, and it is our pleasure here today to be joined by the Iowa Wild leading scorer and the rookie leading scorer in the entire American Hockey League, the humble, the speedy Sammy Walker. Sammy, great to have you with us here today, and thanks for cutting some time for us on an off day.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on.
As we start with everybody, we'll start with you. This is called Ridin the Bus. We want people to saddle up. They're in the bus. They're on the bus sitting next to Sammy Walker. Tell us a great bus story, a bus etiquette bus story, something to get us on the bus and get those wheels turning.
Yeah, I mean, usually on the bus I always I bring my iPad, so I'm usually watching a movie, kind of just minding my own business, playing games on my phone. And this year the guys wanted some golf on the TVs. And of course they're yelling up to me to figure it out, and no one else is helping me. I'm trying to figure it out. It's not working. Everyone's yelling at me from the back of the bus. And it was when the camera crew was on the bus too, so they're filming me, and my hands are all sweaty. I'm freaking out. No one else is helping me. Other than that, I'm usually just sticking to myself, watching my movies.
Who were the players on the bus that time that were leading the charge against you, that were most vocal from the back of the bus, I can only imagine?
Yeah, well, it was the older guys that are playing cards in the back. All the younger guys are kind of up front watching whatever movie they are on their iPad. So they're playing cards, wanting to... The golf wasn't even on that day. There was no golf on, and they wanted golf. I was just trying to at least get a movie on the TV, but the TVs weren't working. And they didn't really understand that, or maybe they were just wanting to keep bugging me. But yeah, it was funny.
Feels like they're just putting you through the ringer, knowing golf wasn't on, knowing the camera was there, knowing that the pressure was on. You were going to kind of fumble around a little bit. I think they just needed the entertainment.
Yeah, well, it made it worse that the camera crew was there, because they got everything.
They got the whole thing.
Yeah.
I really hope that makes the cut.
Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for that when Minnesota puts that out.
Yeah, I really hope that makes the Becoming Wild segment. Sammy, it's great to talk to you today. We have so many places we could go. I do want to start for you for a lot of reasons. Edina, Minnesota, your hometown, born and raised, and specifically not only because Edina has publicity and fame throughout the hockey world, but specifically in Minnesota. And a lot of our viewers, our listeners, our fans of this show, fans of the Iowa Wild, our Minnesota Wild fans, they're Minnesotans, so they've probably known you for quite some time, even before anybody even knew you were going to be wearing a Wild sweater at some point. Walk me through Edina and what it's actually like compared to what it's known for in pop culture, because I've gotten to know some Edina people over the years. My best friend is an Edina Minnesotan. It gets a bad rap sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you pull into the high school, there's a lot of Jeep Wranglers out in the parking lot. But when you pull in with your Nissan Altima, it's a little different. But I don't know, as like just the hockey community, everyone, you get a bad rap. Everyone hates Edina, but I don't know, if you get to know us, we're not too bad.
So you mentioned the Nissan Altima. That's a great next step, because you're right. As someone myself, I actually went to a private school, and I drove in with a 2000 Ford Explorer where the passenger door didn't work. And I was pulling in next to a couple people drove some nice BMWs.
Mm-hmm.
You know the drill in Edina.
Yeah.
The Nissan Altima, tell us more about that story. I think this is a fascinating little dive into the life of Sammy Walker that most people probably don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's got some character to it. That's for sure. I got a couple dents in it. But no, I love it. I'm even driving it now, and all the guys, give me crap for it. And but it gets me to where I need to go, and yeah, I like it.
Edina, growing up in youth hockey there, your family, a big hockey family, your older brothers, Ben and Jack, both playing before you. What was life like growing up as the youngest of two older brothers, all on the hockey rink, all, I'd imagine, playing on the pond and probably roughhousing quite a bit too?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was super fun, but at the same time, it was very frustrating being the youngest. You never wanted anything, whether that's mini sticks in the driveway, street hockey, pond hockey. But I don't know, it makes you more competitive.
Your brothers both decided to take a different route than you took. You took the collegiate route. Your brother's playing in the WHL. As you were coming up, I know a lot of younger brothers might have looked at the older brothers and said, I want to follow that path. Why for you was it the University of Minnesota as opposed to trying that junior path north of the border, considering both Jack and Ben did that?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of people that thought that I was going to go the same path. And they loved it out there, but for me, it was never really a decision, I guess. I always wanted to go the college route, and I was kind of a late bloomer, and I needed to stay in high school and to develop a little bit and play with my friends that you grow up with. And I always wanted to play for the Gophers, and as soon as they offered, I took that. But yeah, no, that was it was kind of always the route that I wanted to go.
As a late bloomer, when all of these things start to happen for you, Minnesota Mr. Hockey, drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning, Gopher scholarship, when all these things start to happen, did it happen really fast? Because some guys, being a Minnesotan, I know this, there are guys that are touted so young that are going to be these next superstars. Your story was a bit different. You weren't somebody that had all of this aplomb and this applause coming out of youth hockey. Not that you weren't a good youth hockey player, but you weren't someone that as a freshman maybe was pegged as, oh yeah, this guy's a Division I athlete. So did it happen pretty quickly? All of a sudden you look back and go, yeah, the scholarship, the draft pick, and we're rolling along towards a now professional hockey career.
Yeah, I would say a few things. I had a good first couple years at the Gophers, and then at Edina, and then committed to the Gophers. But then you had a couple years there still at high school before, senior year I won Mr. Hockey, and then going into the U. But I don't know, it was just I try not to think too much of that and take every year and just keep trying to get better, so that when I did step in to the Gophers, that I could be an impact player and stuff. So
I do want to talk Gophers, but before we get there, paint a picture for those who don't know what the Minnesota State High School hockey tournament is like and what winning a AA Minnesota State high school hockey tournament is like, because you've been there and you've done that, leading your Hornets to a championship.
Yeah, well, I never won it actually.
You didn't?
No,
Wow.
we
I didn't get to do my prep today. There we go.
Wow.
There
we
we
got
go.
third twice.
I thought you'd won it.
Well, it's actually funny. They won back to back right before I got in, and then my freshman year we were going for the three-peat, and we lost. And then I had 4 years. I left. My senior year we got third, and then the year after they won. So.
Well, I
it's
promise
kinda-
I wasn't trying to set you up to relive that
No,
anguish
no.
that you had to go
But
through.
you did.
But I did. But I certainly did. Let's go ahead and leave that one in, Marquise. I'll wear egg on my face for that one. But still playing in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the crowds.
It's unbelievable.
It's an incredible
Yeah.
experience. It's really hard to explain unless you've lived it.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable, and it's the first time that you're playing in front of, I mean, that many. It's not even close before that, you know. I think that semifinal game was like 19,000 or something crazy. So yeah, it was. I mean, like it's incredible, and you're so nervous because you never played in front of that people. But then it's like you're in the state tournament, you're trying to win it. So after a few shifts, you kind of settle in. But yeah, no, it was incredible.
Young journalists out there, this is a perfect example. If you ever are unsure, do your homework. Don't take stabs like I just did. I'm going on timeout. Joey Goldstein, take over for a bit.
All right. So I tried to do some digging and pull up some stories, but I went looking through, and I know I've learned you're a bit of a daredevil as a kid. So I read some stories about you.
Now this is homework.
Read
This
some
is
stories about
doing-
you riding bikes and then standing on the seats and this and that. Is there a story in your mind that sticks out from when you were younger about just not fearing danger whatsoever?
Yeah, well, I remember just giving my mom just heart attacks all the time. I would always stand up on the bike. I don't even know what my thought process was doing that. I remember every time she would try to pick me up from hockey or whatever, I'd pretend to like get hit by the car and go up on the hood and just have a whole act. And my mom was like, "Get in the car." But yeah, so sorry about that, Mom.
Yeah. I'm sure she appreciates the apology now
Yeah.
more than ever. One thing, and I don't know if we can get into it. We don't have to, but I know it. From the moment of birth, it was an uphill battle for you, basically. So going and looking back on things now, being older, having an understanding of what it was that you went through as a kid, has it kind of changed the way that you look at life and kind of your outlook?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes you more grateful for your parents and just what they went through. I mean, for me as a kid, I had no idea. I was just, just a kid. But growing up and learning kind of what I went through and what my parents went through, it's just you're more thankful, for them and everything that they've done for you, I guess.
Awesome. And then Ben started talking about, the road into, Mr. Hockey in the high school. So for me, I'm being from Massachusetts, Mr. Hockey, like none of that. We don't have a big, massive award like that
which is
for our-
surprising, actually. I know.
And
It's
you know
prep-
what?
I know it's
They-
prep hockey.
They
but
might,
still.
but I don't know what it is, right? I never played, so I wasn't in the mix. But like, what was, were you? Do you remember like who were you up against as finalists in that? And did you have an inkling that you were gonna win? Did it come as a surprise for you? What was that like, hearing that announcement?
Yeah, no, it was incredible. Having your name called. I mean, you look back at all the other players that have won that award, and just being able to be, a part of that, it's incredible and a huge honor. But yeah.
So you get to University of Minnesota, you play your freshman year. Now, being named a captain of your college hockey team as a sophomore is a rarity, but you're the first really to do so, to be named a captain that early, and you wore that letter throughout your entire collegiate career. So what was it like for you to have that honor so early, and then how did it kind of change the way you looked at approaching every day going to the rink?
And were you surprised when you got named a captain
Yeah.
of the Minnesota Golden Gophers as a sophomore?
That's a
I mean,
huge honor.
Yeah. Oh, it was definitely a huge honor, and I was pretty shocked. But we also had a super young team. I think between the freshman and sophomore, we had like 19 kids or something. So only like 3 seniors. So I was kind of in charge of the underclassmen in a way. But for me, I tried to lead by example and go out there and work my hardest every day. And so yeah,
What was your major?
communications.
My man.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Yes.
That's the way to go.
What was behind that? You obviously knew pro was coming, but you're no dummy. You're a guy that gets it, and you want to go into this world having the proper background. You went to school for 4 years for a reason. You didn't go to junior for a reason because you wanted that college education. Why communications?
Yeah, I mean, I think
So you could be great on podcasts.
exactly,
obviously.
exactly. This
Yeah.
moment right here. No, I was originally gonna do like business or something, but yeah, I just kind of decided to go in communications. I think for me it was, hockey was always. I was gonna try to play pro as long as I can, and after all this is done, then I'll see what happens next. So
Nice long storied career. Maybe at some point joins me in the color commentary booth after a long successful National Hockey League career. I can see the writing on the wall.
It's the beauty of communications. I'm same degree, right?
Yeah.
It's vague.
yeah,
It's vague.
exactly.
There's a lot of ways you can go with that. Yeah.
A lot of different branches. Let's talk about the decision to come here. You're initially drafted late by the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm not expecting you to pull the curtains back on the entire summer that you had and the discussions that you had, but this happens. It's not the first time. It's not the last time a player gets drafted. They wind up coming to a different organization to start their pro career after finishing college. And for you, what was the thought process like? What were you walking through? Why did it come about? What can you tell us about why you're not wearing a Syracuse Crunch jersey and you're wearing an Iowa Wild jersey right now?
Yeah. Oh, it's the season ends with the Gophers, and it was kind of a long summer just because everything didn't work out with Tampa, and then they kind of just go all summer not knowing where I was going to play, and that was pretty hard. Just trying to be patient, and wait until August when you become a free agent. But yeah, and then I mean when you hear that the Wild wants to sign you, it's incredible. I mean, you got to pounce on that and take that opportunity for sure, and just being able to be a part of your hometown organization, it's unbelievable.
Was that whether you're considering other teams, the minute the Wild came through, it was like, yep, this is the decision for sure.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you got to take that, right?
Do you feel? I know you hear a lot of guys talk about going and playing for their hometown team. Do you feel that pressure being a part of the Wild organization, and just having grown up watching them your entire life? Like, do you feel that at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I would say my first game was in Vancouver, and I would say I was more nervous the second game playing back at home.
How many people reached out? So, one, how many tickets did you have to get for this game? And then how many people start coming out of the woodwork once they realized you were going to be playing?
Well, it was nice. Like, I just had to get all my family tickets because everyone was like, "Oh, I already got a ticket." Like, people were so excited, which was so awesome to see. But yeah, no, I felt bad. The text, it was a couple days before I could get to everyone. So.
I'm sure.
Welcome to life and team services.
Yeah.
To see the text that lay on my phone for days and weeks and months. That's a fascinating question, though, Joey. It'd be fun, and probably not as much for you now, Sammy, but later on after the National Hockey League career really boils up and you stay there for a while. But I'd be curious to ask people, like, who's the most random person that's ever reached out to let's say a Matt Boldy or not even, I shouldn't say that, I should say somebody that's a local guy. I'd be curious. I bet you there's been over the years, some really bizarre people that have reached out in the past of some of these
And I'm
players.
sure he's like, you get to that point, you're gonna get someone you went to high school with, and you haven't talked to
but
in
they
10
somehow
years.
still have your number.
Right.
Yep.
And it all kind of comes full. I'm sure there's tons of people like that.
Yeah, and you haven't talked to them since you're like 12, and you don't have their number saved, but you don't want to be like,
Who's this?
Who is this again?
New phone, who did?
Yeah, exactly.
Sammy, this year in the American Hockey League it's been breathtaking to watch. Not only the amount of points that you've put up, 33 and 33, a point a game player, the top rookie in the American League. As we sit recording today, this could change by the time this episode goes out, but not according to your plans, it won't. But coming in, and you can answer this question with yes. Did you expect to have this kind of productivity offensively?
Honestly, I don't really think anyone did. I didn't think anyone thought that I'd be pulled up as soon as I did. But I mean, for me, I tried to just do my best. And I mean, there's so many players down here that are so good that makes it easier, to succeed. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just try to take every day at a time and, not try to get too high or too low.
Two of those other guys who are on the freeway frequently back and forth between Minnesota and Des Moines, your line mates currently, and it has been an exhilarating line to watch. Marco Rossi, Adam Beckman, Sammy Walker. Tell us more about what those guys are like, getting to spend as much time with them as you do, not only on the ice, what makes them so special, but in the locker room too.
Yeah, no, they're great guys, and we have a lot of laughs every single day, which is so awesome, and it helps, when you go out there and play when you're tight like that. But they're so smart, and it's so fun to learn from them on the ice, and definitely makes it easier when you got two guys like that moving you the puck.
And it's a really unique meshing of three very different personalities, too. Sammy Walker, we're getting to know him right here. Humble pie, Minnesota, Midwest, just nice, kind, good. All three of you guys are very kind people. But then Marco, a little more quiet, can have a little bit of nastiness in him at times, which is coming out more and more, and I sure love to watch that. And then Adam Beckman, rambunctious, loud. He's always talking. He's always full of energy. How has that all come together to make such an interesting and fun line?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know, but it just works, I guess. There's some days where it's like 8 in the morning and I'm like, Becky, a little more quiet, dude, But no, I don't know. It just works. I mean, I try to just use my speed, and I mean, those two are such good passers, and they can both move too. They're both fast players, and they're so smart, and I try to just get open, and they're pretty good at getting me the puck.
Can you put into words maybe what Adam Beckman was putting into words 8 in the morning, that moment where you did go, hey, Becky, maybe a little less? Like, what are some of the things he's blaring out at 8 in the morning?
Dude, I don't even know.
We hear this from everybody. So, like, you're not throwing him on him. Like, this is a very well-known thing for anybody who listens or watches this podcast. So
no, dude, I don't even know. I'm just like, it kind of just like goes in and goes out, but you just know he's being loud, and you just know he's got to tone it down a little bit. But he's a funny dude, and he like makes me laugh every day. I love it. Yeah.
Joey, I know you had a lot more prep than I did on this this podcast. What did you want to get to? I've only got a couple more for him, and it's about music. We're going to get there because I want to talk about that as a fellow musician. But Joey, what do you got on your rundown here?
Yeah, so I get a couple quick ones. So obviously, being able to represent Iowa at the All-Star Games is a pretty big honor, and be able to do that as a rookie is awesome. 2 questions on that. The first one, I mean, what are you most looking forward to in being in Laval and getting to play in this, the skills competition, the All-Star Classic, all that good stuff?
Yeah, no, I think I'm most excited for the skills competition. It'll be interesting to see, what event I'm in. But yeah,
I could take a stab at one.
Yeah, and that's where my follow-up question is going to go. And I don't
Sorry
know.
to cut you off.
No,
Sam.
you're good. I don't know how they pick who does what event, but if I had to guess, I would imagine they try to put you in the fastest skater. Now,
they could pick a corner though too.
The record
really pick a corner
for fastest skater, and it's an AHL record, but it's faster than McDavid, 13.251 seconds. If you're put into this fastest skater event, you think that's attainable?
Man, I don't know. I've never done like that, kind of.
You have to get out and practice one day.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try my best, see if I can break it. It's pretty fast, though.
That is fast.
Yeah.
Wow. It's quick.
Do you know who got that?
Yeah, Anthony Greco.
Anthony Greco.
Yeah.
Wow. He's got some Des Moines ties. I think he played for the Buccaneers in the USHL.
I don't know. We had him for like a cup of coffee for half a season in San Jose. I mean, he could fly.
That's wheeling.
But a lot of guys can move like that. It's just when it's straight line, like nobody's really in the way. It's interesting. But yeah, faster than McDavid something.
That's crazy.
I'd be interested to see if they'd ever do something like that with the puck, because I do think and that's
Changes-
one of the
it
things that
changes
you do
things.
really well, Sammy, is you can motor, at least watching from the press box, almost as fast, if not faster, sometimes with the puck than without it. So that might be an interesting wrinkle to throw into an all-star
Well,
game.
they have they have like a puck control relay, so I'd probably.
I want blue line to blue line with a puck.
Right, but they have like you're going through cones and. I think it's like teams of 3 and a couple different heats.
Shows how much of the All-Star game I typically watch every year.
Well, I've been the last couple of years. I've been able to go
for a
yeah.
week. Yeah,
It's usually it's a really fun event, so I think it's something that you'll enjoy, and obviously getting to be able to play with, the best of the best around the league has got to be awesome too.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I'm super excited. Yeah.
Awesome. And then my last one, before I turn it back over to Ben, you are helping mold the next generation of hockey players. What was in Minnesota, now you're expanding it to Des Moines with the Sammy Walker hockey camp. So I'm going to give you a chance to plug this. Tell us about the camp. How did it come to be? What are your kind of goals with it? And I guess where did this all come from?
Yeah. No, I mean, as a kid, I always loved going to camps. And my camp was always kind of, it's everything that I would want as a kid going to camp. I mean, off ice dodgeball and all these games that you get to play. But yeah, no, it was kind of, this is going to be the third year. And it was just kind of always something that I wanted to do, but I was never really able to just because of the college rules. And then they changed that and I was able to do that. And yeah, it's just kind of everything that I would want. I mean, it's so fun. The kids seem to love it. They always have fun with it, and yeah, I'm excited for this summer.
That's awesome. And where, for the people in Des Moines who may be interested, where can they get more information? Where is this taking place?
Yeah, they can go social media, my Instagram, Twitter. I have the link in my bio, or they can go to sammywalkerhockey.com. It's got all the info on the website, and it's pretty easy how to register and everything. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
Good little plug there.
Yeah.
Right?
Man,
You
Joey,
impressed, Ben?
You came prepared.
Yeah.
If we're grading this podcast right
Get
now,
an A.
You've got an A+.
Yeah.
And I am hovering right around D-.
All right.
I give you a C.
Well, passing, but I'm hovering around D-.
Hey, we're recording today, so we're good for now.
I was going to say, we managed to sneak in a second January episode somehow, so maybe I bumped my grade up, extra credit for sneaking this in. Sammy, this has been outstanding. I knew it would be because you're such a charming guy. To finish, I wanted to talk about the music side, because it was one thing early that I learned when you told me that I think you'd bought a keyboard and you were taking piano lessons. But before we even get there, the guitar is something you've been playing for a long time, from what I've been told. I'm a guitar player, so I'm always interested talking with another picker like you are. What is a go-to song? If you got to impress somebody or you want to play your best, what are you playing?
I love country music, so it'd probably be, oh man, 5 o'clock somewhere, maybe.
We could have a talent show.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Some Morgan Wallen or Luke Combs. I don't know.
So just acoustic? Do you have an electric?
Just acoustic.
Just acoustic.
Yeah, I kind of like just the easy strumming, campfire songs.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a finger picking or electric heavy metal kind of.
Yeah.
I play a ukulele. I feel like I can be in this conversation.
You just want to be in the talent show.
Yeah, just a
The
little
lone
bit.
non-player in the
Are you
talent show.
are you excited for the Russell Dickerson show then? Being a country guy with him coming in.
Yeah. No, if I'm able to go to that, I'm probably gonna go.
I mean, yeah, I would assume you'd be able to go if
Again,
you're
the
not up
humble-
in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be. I would venture to guess we can find a way to get you to the show.
The humbleness again of
Yeah.
Sammy Walker, right? Like, if I get to go, like, okay, yeah, of course you're going to go if you want to go. So the piano side, not many guys walking into pro hockey at age 23 would go, I'm going to use my time away from the rink, which some months there are more of, some months there are less of, depending on travel and game schedule, etc. And I'm going to learn yet another instrument. What has that whole experience been like? Because you've been taking lessons and you've got a keyboard in an electric keyboard in your apartment. This is quite a picture that you painted for us.
Yes, it's fun. It's a fun little hobby, and it keeps you busy for sure. I don't really play video games or anything, and now with no school, it's like, what
What do I do?
What am I supposed to do? You're done at 12:31, and you got the rest of the day. And And so yeah, I got it this summer. And I kind of just sat around all summer. I was kind of lazy with it, and then once I came down here, it's just so much free time that it's like, yeah, no, I got to start learning this. And I started taking lessons, but man, with like the travel and everything and being up and down, I had to stop that, and I've just been kind of on YouTube messing around. But yeah, no, I probably know 4 or 5 songs now, and just
Like what?
a few country songs. I know. I don't know. It's funny. Like All of Me.
Yeah.
But I learned the intro to Piano Man. So I gotta keep rolling with that.
We need this. We need something. We need footage or something.
The intro to your song, Elton John.
Oh, that's a great
Yeah.
song and
Yeah.
a great intro.
Yeah.
Didn't want to start with hot cross buns. Or
Yeah, something
he goes
easy.
right into Elton John. Okay.
Well, once I learned all the keys and memorized,
Yeah.
or like this is G, this is C, oh this makes a C chord, then I was just like, this is boring. I gotta learn these songs.
Can you read music, or do you play more by ear?
I can read music, but it'd be like, okay, what is this? That's an F, and then I gotta
Sure,
write it
sure.
down. I can't like that makes a chord. I can't
Sure,
really do that.
sure.
I still gotta learn that and stuff. But I kind of just watch YouTube, watch how they play it, copy them. Yeah.
Getting
Sounds like with all the time, by the time the season ends, he's going to be fluent in reading music.
Yes, jeez, it's funny. I'm getting Matt Boldy vibes here, Joey. Like when we had Matt on many episodes ago now, and this was more on the sports side, but I'm referring to it from you on the music side, where whatever he picked up, he just gets good at it.
Just
It
do it.
sounds very
Yeah.
similar to what you're doing here with the music side too,
Well, yeah,
Sammy.
when I first started the guitar, it was the most frustrating thing I think I've
That's
ever
true.
done.
Yeah, that's true. I can empathize with that
So,
for sure.
but once you get it down, then it's like so fun, and then you just want to keep learning. So
And you got to get the calluses early.
Yeah,
'cause
that-
the first few weeks, your
Oh,
hands just
it's
want to
horrible.
fall off.
And I had to like put my hands in the right spot. Like your fingers don't move that way, and once you learn it, though, it's pretty fun.
Sammy, anything else we didn't get to that you want to tack on here? I've just had a ball. I know Joey has,
Yeah.
and so thanks so much. Anything
Yeah.
else to finish?
Oh, I think you guys nailed it. Yeah, it was fun.
Sammy, thanks a ton, pal.
Yeah, thank you.
Grateful to Sammy Walker for a great interview there and some really good stuff from Sammy, and can't thank him enough for parking some time on an off day, no less too, which is not always conducive for players. And I would have absolutely said no problem, Sammy, if you wanted to take the off day, but we have such a group here of
Yeah.
good guys that are willing to give their time up, and as Sammy talks about in that episode, their time is very precious. I mean, he had to stop taking those piano lessons because he couldn't find the time to do it. So thank you to Sammy for coming in here and doing that today, and we hope you enjoyed it. We certainly enjoyed, warts and all from my side.
Yeah.
Certainly enjoyed doing it, though, with Sammy for sure.
Yeah, you never really know what to expect with some of the younger guys who you're not super familiar with. At least you're with them. You're down here every day. I'm not. I know Sammy is on the quieter side, so to see him open up a bit like he did in this episode, I think is really cool. And again, just peeling back the curtain, so all the Wild fans out there in Iowa and Minnesota can see what these guys are all about.
Let's get a quick wrap here. We have a couple of items to finish up on our episode 16 here of the podcast today. First, the video is finally coming out. Let's preview it. The bet, which we should start talking about another bet, actually. I don't have anything in mind,
me either.
but we should just at least
So,
tease that out
yeah.
there. But so, again, if anybody missed it, Minnesota Vikings beating the New England Patriots on Thanksgiving Day. Joey Goldstein puts on the pads and has to stop 3 shots in a shootout from Iowa Wild players. It wound up being in a row. That was not the initial agreement, but it was better for the content, so I'll stand by it, even though I'm the one who changed it. And that video is coming up, and fans are going to be able to see it.
Yeah.
Finally.
So at the end of this episode, that's where you'll get to see all of it. It was a lot of fun to do. You changed the rules in the middle of it. There, you'll see the entire controversy from start to finish is going to be in there. So you'll see the entire thing. It was cool. The guys got into it. I mean, we shot it, I think at the beginning of January. So there may be some faces in there who aren't currently on the roster, and that's just kind of the way that the business works. But yeah, I think it's there were some laugh out loud moments, I think,
I was
throughout that. I know you were. Ben didn't score on me either, which is
2 posts.
awesome.
2 posts.
So it doesn't matter if you hit the post.
That's a
Didn't
good
score.
point. That's valid.
But yeah, we'll have to start thinking of a new bet. I mean, our next episode we'll probably aim to shoot for one in February. Probably come out mid to late February because you guys are on the road for a bit at the beginning of the month. But yeah, we'll hopefully have something good for then. So if you got an idea, send it over.
Yeah,
Let us know.
bet ideas. We haven't decided on a guest by any means yet. So if there are,
it feels like we got to get Adam Beckman on here soon. Everybody just
That's a
talks
good
about
point.
how loud he is. We might just have to let him come on here and just like give him a headset, and you and I just kind of just sit on the other side of the table and just let him go for a little bit.
we should mention for those listening to this podcast, if you want to go watch the video, head to our YouTube. What's our YouTube handle, Joey?
It's just at
type in
Iowa
Iowa
Wild.
Wild?
Yeah,
Okay.
Iowa Wild TV. I mean, it's this video is going to be at the end of this podcast, so it's not going to be its own standalone video. Just keep watching to the end. We're only going to ramble on for a couple more
But go
minutes.
to
I
YouTube.
promise.
Yeah, that's how because
But it's on YouTube.
I'm just thinking if I'm listening
For
to this,
people
they're
listening,
going,
yep.
how am I going to watch this?
Yep,
head
go
to
watch
YouTube to
episode 16 with Sammy Walker and just, I mean, watch it. We're cool. We're cool people.
I
but
wouldn't watch it.
But if
Those
you've
who
already
watch it,
listened,
God bless
then
you. I'm
then
a
fast
listener.
forward to the end.
Yeah,
Yeah. I listen to most podcasts. So
I'm always doing something,
yeah.
and I would not want to sit and stare at us for whatever it is, an hour.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
I don't know. My parents do it, but I guess that's different. Mom and Dad. Thanks. Love you guys.
Anything else we got to get to before we put a wrap on today?
I just want to, we got a lot of big things coming up, in February and into March, some big games. So you guys are listening to this. We're about about a week and a half out from Pink in the Rink, February 11th. So
Big
every
night.
year, it's one of our biggest games of the year, Breast Cancer Awareness Night. We're going to have specialty jerseys, which came in the other day. They look fantastic. We're going to have LED wands being handed out to the first 5,000 people in the building that night. We're going to have our light up ceremony during the first intermission. We're selling mystery pucks. We're really, it's more so collecting a donation. So you collect a $10 donation, you'll get a mystery puck. The money is being raised to benefit Tracy Pinter, who is a dear friend of Damien Giroux. They became friendly through their time while Damien was playing in juniors, and they've basically stayed friends ever since with the family. But Tracy's currently going through and battling breast cancer. So we'll have a video that comes out kind of the week of Pink in the Rink to share more about that story. But we're raising money for their family to help them just kind of cover costs because they've gone through a lot. We'll auction off the jerseys, obviously. Live auction, which we're bringing back for the first time in a while. So more details to come on that.
I'm not doing the auctioneering, am I?
No, but you'll be
thank
there to kind of
goodness.
just talk about we're bringing up. Yeah, that's not. You're not doing that.
No.
But we'll have an auctioneer, and then you'll
I had to
basically
do that before. I did that when I previous team.
Good
I
to know.
worked
So
for.
if we can't
but
find
I
anybody,
can't do it that way. I just sat up.
I don't
there
know
and
if we
talked.
want somebody to be able to do that too. That's kind of
interesting,
It's cool,
though.
but then you'll basically go up and it's Sammy Walker. Sammy had a goal and assist tonight, and
Here we go. We're having basically a marketing meeting right now on the podcast.
So that's kind of what it's going to look
I'm
like.
learning of
but
this for like the first time.
yeah,
now.
we
Okay,
have
good.
not talked about it.
No,
so
we haven't.
That's
Good.
kind of what it'll
Yeah.
look like. We'll talk more outside. But so that's Pink in the Rink night, and then we got 3 more decent sized games in February. Crash's birthday on February 19th. It's zoo themed, so that's going to be just a unique kind of
that's
tie. I
great.
think last year
Yeah.
was space, so it's zoo themed. The first 1,500 kids ages 12 and under are going to get a youth jersey. It's really cool. It's like Crash and like a safari zookeeper thing with some animals on it.
Is there a giraffe on there?
It's giraffe print. I don't know if there's a giraffe
That's
in
fair.
the
That
in the-
plays.
It's cool.
Giraffe
though.
print,
It's pretty
sweet.
cool. So that's Crash's birthday. That's on Sunday. He's gonna have a ton of mascot friends out. I think confirmed so far. We got Alpha with the Wolves. We've got Iowa State's mascot. We're talking with Herky. We've got Cubby coming out. We've got some sponsors. So should be a pretty good one so far with only more to grow. And then we've got Pride Night, second annual Pride Night on February 24th, that Friday. So $2 beers. First 1,500 in the door that night are going to get Iowa Wild Pride scarves. Last year was a huge success for Pride Night, so it was a no-brainer to bring that back out again, and our partners at Capital City Pride have been great for that. And then the biggest game of the year is coming up in March, but the Russell Dickerson post-game concert is going to be phenomenal. Like, truly, get your tickets now because there's I mean, there's plenty of seats in the building, but if you want the best seats for the show, don't wait, because those good seats are going to kind of disappear. And we've got VIP packages. If you want to upgrade the experience, you can literally be on the ice right in front of the stage with these packages. You get all you can eat food and drink. One of the packages has a signed gift from Russell Dickerson. It's going to be the biggest game of the year. We haven't done concerts in a while.
Yeah. I'm thrilled for it. I've
the
heard
players
they're a
are super
blast.
excited. I've never seen him live. I've watched the videos. He is an unreal performer from everything that I've seen. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna just kind of be a country night in general for that game. So come in your cowboy hats, bring your boots, your flannels. Just be here ready to have a good time. So grab your tickets. All of the tickets, more information, iowawild.com. Everything's there for you. So that's my marketing spiel.
Excellent. In any world, do you think Russell Dickerson would let Sammy Walker play with him for a song?
Oh. Well, so I don't know.
I heard a story. Nolan Yonkman, when our assistant coach, he was in Milwaukee.
I've seen the video.
Yeah, I forget who it was with.
What's his name? He was married to Gwen Stefani. What's
Blake
his name?
Shelton.
Yeah,
No,
Blake Shelton.
Was it? No, was
Yep.
Blake, was he married to her first, and then? Am I getting that wrong?
I don't know. Blake Shelton's the guy, though.
Is it the guy?
Yeah, pop
Gwen Stefani,
culture.
'cause he was married to another gal, country artist.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was Blake Shelton.
Miranda
yeah.
Lambert. There it is. I knew I was
There
gonna,
is
I knew I
a.
was gonna
Oh
get it.
yeah, yeah.
I knew
yeah.
I was gonna get it.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
right. But there is
Yeah.
I think Miranda Lambert was first.
Yeah.
But
So there's a precedent for
we can
this.
certainly ask.
I think. I mean, we can't promise it, but
we can't promise
it's
it,
worth
but
asking.
I'm
how cool would that?
I will
and who knows if Sammy would want to do it? I don't know.
Walker
But
play with Russell.
you got a busy to-do list
Dickerson.
today.
Yeah.
Some photoshopping, talking to bona fide country superstars.
I think
Big
that would
day
be really
today.
cool. It's certainly something we can ask about. I don't
Yeah.
see why not. The worst they're gonna say is no. But yeah, I've seen the video of Yonks playing.
It's a good video.
Yeah, it's a great video.
It's
And
really good.
He loves telling the story. So I definitely ask him about it if you ever come across him. But it's pretty cool. I mean, how often do you get to do something like that?
No kidding.
That's different.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's kind of it. I think we can just kind of put a bow on this, roll into the bet. But yeah, this was a good episode.
Yeah, thanks to Executive Podcast Solutions and Jeremy Core for helping us disperse this out on different podcasting platforms. Also to Marquise Jones for the videography and editing of the YouTube side of our podcast, as well to Sammy Walker. And well done today, Joey. An excellent day for you. Congratulations on
Go out on a high note.
an all-star performance on the podcast. I got to go back to the drawing board. They're about to send me down to the coast for podcasting based off of the performance I had today. I got to pick my game up.
Yeah, that's
I
all
gotta
right.
pick
You know
my
what?
game up.
Everybody has those days. There's some days where you're just off, and today just was one of those days, and we're not going to let you live it down.
Nor should you. And thanks to you as well, all of our viewers and our listeners for tuning in here today. Hope you enjoyed this journey. And for Joey Goldstein, for Marquise Jones, I'm Ben Gislason. Thanks for stopping by. This has been episode 16 of Riding the Bus, the official Iowa Wild podcast. And as always, 2 honks for the win.
There's no chance I put these on correctly.
Just for the record, this is my first on-podcast bet win. I never thought that the Minnesota Vikings would be the ones that would get it done for me. I bet on myself, and boy, was I wrong. And all the bets that involved me, I lost in, and my Vikes took it home.
This is going to go one of 2 ways. 2 things are going to happen. One, I'm going to become the permanent e-bug for the Iowa Wild. Or 2,
Really
yeah.
rare chance that's going to happen. I'm leaning towards number 2.
I feel like I forgot to put something on.
Don't let me know what you forgot, or I'm shooting for that.
You're going to
That
shoot
empty
at my head
space.
either way.
No.
I'm scared out of my mind. Not scared. It might be a nerves thing. I just don't know what to expect. Also very thirsty. Nice, Joey. I look good? You look good. Do I look like I know what I'm doing? Because I don't. I said, you got any advice for me?
Save the puck.
Save the puck. Easy enough?
That's kind of what they told me every time. Just say how hard can it be? You'll save the puck.
Yeah, I just hope a couple guys miss the net.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know, for that. I hope you have pads for it.
I think I do.
Otherwise, it could hurt. Pretty
Yeah.
bad.
All right, Joey.
Down here.
Yeah, it's gonna be you.
Gotta stop 3, and then I can get out.
That's all.
And this is gonna be quicker than I thought. Oh, okay. It's like Mighty Ducks. Don't let him make him make the first move, kind of. That's 2. That's 2. Sammy Walker, leading goal scorer, not a problem. Oh. No, it was a problem.
Hey, 3 in a row, Joey. 3 in a row, not 3 total. 3 in a row.
No,
That was the bet. That was
You're
the
changing
bet.
the rules.
That was the bet.
Changing the rules on me. All right, Ben. No, no, no. I'm tired. I was ready for it. Did he miss? He missed? This is gonna be.
He's gonna bury it now. Hey, how's that feel? Hey, is that?
Easy. I saw Mikey flip a puck over a youth hockey goalie's face yesterday. That was the move. Couldn't finish. All right, hold on. I'm gonna be here all day.
Hey, it is tiring though. Like,
Yeah.
our goalies can't even do this many in a row. Oh, he's fucking.
Oh, this is getting ugly. It's getting ugly. It's getting ugly.
Boy, this could be 2 here.
That go in? I don't think I'm getting that PTO. Ben changed the rules. It's a joke.
There's going to be a lot of dispute about the 3 in a row. There's going to be a lot of dispute about it. I'm calling it now. There was a clear misunderstanding about what the actual bet was, and he was the bet master. I'm being called in.
You changed the rules.
No, I did not. It was agreed upon 3 in a row.
We're gonna run the tape back.
Run the tape back.
Yeah.
Okay, run the tape back. No.
What's he saying? Is he dead?
He said that I've changed the rules on the bet. He's calling.
He thought 3 in general?
Yeah, 3 in general.
A person with, like, events.
Yeah.
Anyone in the world can suck 3.
Yeah.
Oh, we're on opposite hands. That's sad.
We get tickets at Mute Team. Oh, there's one!
There's a stop.
Right off the face.
What? Do that now, 'cause you're probably gonna miss.
I am so tired.
That's 2!
That's 2.
Hey, that's 2!
Hey, I can count.
Becky's gonna be dancing. He doesn't want to be the bad. I'm gonna try and bury from here. No, I'm gonna swerve from here.
Oh man.
What do I do? What do I do?
Oh. Oh man.
Ty's my guy.
Oh man.
This sucks. This is hard.
All right, Joey. First question. How's our backwards skating?
Oh, it's not great.
Not great. Perfect. So now this next one, with the Yogs coming. When he starts coming, I want you to get halfway between the hash marks and the top of the crease.
Okay.
Once he gets towards the top of the circle,
Start backing up.
start backing up, get a little momentum. They can't go around you. And then if they get really tight, we turn
Poke
around
check.
so they can't see. Send them with a little poke check. Just watch out for Youngs' feet. They're big.
I'll do my best.
All right. Let's see it.
I caught 2% of that.
Oh, and here comes Yonker. Joey! It's backwards, not forwards.
That's 2.
I'm getting sympathy shots now.
It really has looked better. Oh, wow. He's definitely trying, so this one's going to be trouble. Whoop, whoop.
Can't go backwards.
That's
go
3.
That's
That's
three.
3. That's
Oh.
3.
I'm exhausted. I thought that was gonna be so much easier. I don't know why.
I didn't think it was going to be easy. I thought it was going to be about like that. That's
Yeah.
what I expected.
Only one injury today. My ego. That took a hit. I stand by it. It's terrible. Look at me, I'm dying.
All
Hope
right.
everybody enjoyed my pain and suffering. It's a wrap.
Hey, I didn't score on you either. I hit 2 posts. So you beat me.
They don't care about you.
You still beat me.
Ben,
Take
change the
your,
rules.
take
I
your
can't
consolation
wait.
prize.
I can't wait to run the tape back when this is all over and see that it's just stopped in 3, not 3 in a row. I would have been out of there so quick.
The loser is going to have to strap up in goalie gear. And one day after practice coming up, if we can find a date, it might have to be something over at the Recplex, just given the ice availability and whatnot. But loser's going to have to strap up in goalie gear after practice, and they will hop into the crease between the pipes, and they are not allowed to leave the ice until they stop 3 penalty shots.
That's hard. That's also, I didn't get a warm up either. So, not calling erroneous, but warm up would have been nice.